Apparently, even Donald Trump's lawyer for the ongoing investigation in New York doesn't think things are going very well for the former president and his family. That lawyer, of course, would be Alina Habba, who appeared on conservative media this week to talk about the fact that, yeah, the family is stuck between a rock and a hard place. Here is what she had to say. We're going on all avenues against Letitia James, not just with the courts, and it has to be stopped. And people in this state should really be frightened if you're a real estate tycoon and you have valuations of property and you happen to be on the other side of politics with Letitia James. I haven't made a determination on what I think is best at this point. Unfortunately, they put them between a rock and a hard place, but I can tell you, we're appealing the decision. She also, before I analyze that, also at one point during this interview that she did on Newsmax, talked about how it was unfair that the judge that was overseeing this case, the Supreme Court Judge Arthur Engoron, called Donald Trump a bad guy during a court hearing over the Attorney General's right to subpoena. She says, oh, that's unfair. That judge can't go out there and give a personal opinion as I give a personal opinion trying to change the public opinion about what's happening while I'm on Newsmax. I agree the judge shouldn't have said that if he actually did say it the way you say he did. But also at the same time, shouldn't you not be able to go in the media to talk about ongoing litigation? I mean, trust me, as somebody who's actually done that in the past and then gotten popped for it by a judge, that is absolutely a thing that you're not allowed to do. Trust me. I speak from experience. That's why there's certain issues that you don't see me talk about anymore because I've been told by a judge I can't. Someday we will, and I'll tell the story. It's a fun one. But either way, let's get back to her original statement here. The family is between a rock and a hard place. Well, that's not good. And it certainly can't be good for the family's morale either when you turn on the TV and there's your lawyer saying like, yeah, they're between a rock and a hard place. Yikes. Wouldn't want to be them, right? I'm sorry. I think I would go out and probably find a new lawyer at that point rather than one who goes on TV and basically implies that, yeah, they are screwed. Because in my interpretation of what she said, that's what she's saying. Like, that's what I'm hearing when she says they're between a rock and a hard place. They're screwed. And of course, she said she's exploring all avenues, and all avenues includes, like she said, appealing the decision to allow the case to move forward. But more importantly, whether or not to tell the family to plead the Fifth Amendment. You know, do we want them to go in there and just say, I plead the fifth? Because that's probably not going to look too good. I mean, hey, it may get them out of legal trouble, but it also may not. Because here's the problem. In a criminal proceeding, you can plead the Fifth Amendment and the judge will instruct the jury to ignore anything related to you pleading the Fifth. Basically, it didn't happen, you didn't hear it. And sometimes pleading the Fifth can also get certain evidence thrown out in a criminal proceeding. Problem here, what's happening with Letitia James is not a criminal proceeding. It's a civil proceeding. You know what happens when you plead the Fifth in a civil proceeding? It actually can be considered. Uh-oh. So even if the Trump family goes in there and pleads the Fifth, they can still look at that and be like, well, they pled the Fifth here. In a criminal proceeding, again, you can't talk about it from that point on. It's over. That thing is done. It didn't happen. It didn't exist. You mention it, you get in trouble. Not in a civil proceeding. Oh, they can bring it up every time they want to talk about it. So pleading the Fifth could actually cause more damage to the Trump family, which is why, by the way, she says they are between a rock and a hard place. Because they're damned if they do, damned if they don't. And as I keep saying, folks, things are starting to get interesting. This family's going to be testifying, sitting down with these investigators within the next 3 weeks now. And we're probably going to see some fireworks coming from those conversations. Thanks for watching, and if you like what you saw, don't forget to like, comment, share, and most importantly, subscribe to our Ring of Fire channel here.